My brother is 4 years older than me, and we couldn't be any different. We're like night and day, basically. There's that old story about the ant and the grasshopper, and like the ant does all the work, and then the grasshopper just parties and doesn't store up any food, and then the winter comes, and the grasshopper dies. My brother's the grasshopper, and I'm definitely the ant. The thing about my brother, though, I thought he was so cool. He's my older brother, and I used to wear his clothes, and he would ask to borrow money because we got an allowance for doing chores all the time. And I'd be like, okay, Benji, yeah, sure. And I'd give him $10 here, $20 there, because I was a big saver. I still am. I just always saved up money. And he abused that constantly. He probably owes me seriously like $20,000 to this day. But I got older, and I'm about to enter middle school, and we were latchkey kids. Both my parents worked. We always had meals. We always ate dinner together, but both my parents worked. So there was a time when after school, we'd come home, and I would watch Voltron or pop in a tape, and one of these days after school, there was this tape just by the VCR. And I was like, oh, cool. And I put the tape in, and it was a porn. It wasn't my porn because I was young, and I was just like, what is this? And I didn't stop that tape because I couldn't. I was just like, so I'm watching it, and my brother comes home. He's cool. He like has his skateboard. He's wearing like his checkered Vans, and he comes home and he's like, "What's up, Chris?" And he's like, "What?" Oh, and he runs to the VCR and stops it real quick. And the thing is, until that moment, I was just like, "Oh, look at this magic that is coming to my life." But my brother's reaction told my brain, there's something here, Chris. There's something here. So he's like, oh my God, you can't tell mom and dad. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is wrong. Like, this is not a good thing to have in the house. He's like, you can't tell mom and dad. And I'm just kind of like, ooh. And he starts crying. He just starts crying. You can't tell mom and dad, you can't tell mom and dad. And I was like, Benji, I'm not gonna tell mom and dad, but you have to do everything I tell you to do from now on. And he's like, okay, whatever. So we're having one of our dinners, and my mom, who grew up in Mississippi, she's a very strict woman, and she was like, Christopher, it's your night to do the dishes and sweep the floor. And I was like, no, mother. Benji said he'll do it. And my brother, who has a very short memory, was like, what? And I just looked at him and I went, tapes. And he settled in and he was like, and my parents were like, what is going on? So it was always my dad, my mom, me, and my brother. That's how we sat at the table. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So they're like, okay, whatever. They don't care. They just want chores to get done. And that's how it went for a year. Now, I'm from the great state of Michigan where it really snows and where we use salt on our roads because it snows that much. And one time it snowed so bad that in the morning, my mom woke up her children to be like, hey, you guys got a shovel. And I was like, oh. No, mother. I think Benji will do it. My brother. So here's the thing, shoveling. It goes a lot faster with two people. It just does. You both have a shovel, you get rid of it. And he looked at me like, what? And I just looked at him again and I was like, tapes. Tapes. And he settled in. So I took full advantage of him and I didn't feel bad about it one time. So finally, I think my brother was either a freshman in high school or about to be a freshman in high school. And we're at the dinner table. And it's my dad, my mom, me, and my brother. And my mom's like, okay, tonight I actually need you guys to dust the furniture because grandma's coming here this weekend and wash the dishes. And she just like lays out this list. And I just look at her and I'm like, no, mother. And my brother had had enough. And he was like, I just saw him and I looked at him and he was like, ah, I can't take it. I can't take it. Okay. And I looked at him and I was like, tapes, but it didn't work. He was like, no, no. And he just confessed. I had a porn. It was from Rob. Rob brought it over and he left it over at the house and I was watching porn and Chris saw it. Chris saw the porn and he's been blackmailing me for a year. And I was just quiet. And my mom was quiet. And my dad was quiet. And they just looked at him and they were like, oh. And then we went back to eating. But then my dad kind of gives me an elbow and he goes,